million Houston Housing Authority lot sits empty this morning with no help for families in need.
Now, a new investigation reveals these housing deals are taking millions from the city and the county, making it difficult to provide services each year. KPRC2's Amy Davis digs into what this means for your taxes and basic services.
Garbage collection, police, and fire. These are basic services paid for in large part with property taxes. Both Houston and Harris County are trying to keep the lights on. And at the same time, we're learning every time the Housing Authority purchases property, it becomes tax exempt. That property creates no more tax revenue ever.
Under the prior leadership of Houston Housing Authority, there was a lot of concern from stakeholders that the primary goal of serving low-income people in Houston was being sort of complicated or getting foggy towards serving other purposes, getting into other types of real estate development.
That's Ben Martin of Texas Housers, a nonprofit focused on making sure low-income Texans have access to affordable housing. The real estate developments Martin is talking about are known as PFCs, short for Public Facility Corporations. This is where the Housing Authority creates a nonprofit so it can partner with private developers. In exchange for creating affordable housing, the developer's property could become tax exempt. But instead of creating new housing, HHA partnered with dozens of existing apartment complexes, completely taking those properties off the tax rolls. Rice University's Baker Institute is currently researching these deals, about 100 of them completed between 2020 and 2024, and says the preliminary numbers show the agreements are costing local taxing districts about $100 million a year.
Now, new HHA President Jamie Bryant says he has stopped accepting these deals, except for a couple that were already pending when he came on board. Now, while those deals are already done, he said the apartment complexes can lose their tax exemption status if they're not providing the number of affordable units that they're required to under their agreement. So in other words, if they break any part of this contract or deal, then they could sort of claw back that money. Otherwise, I mean, that's a lot of money that is just not coming into cities and counties every year.
I mean, maybe we've heard about this in other places over the years where you get a tax break for a certain amount of time to spur development or for low-income housing, but generally it's not forever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Okay,
it is.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. A lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, Amy, thanks.
I received an anonymous tip from someone asking, why is it that the Housing Authority would want to purchase this large piece of land? It wasn't until a few months later we started making open records requests and found the answer to that question was really tough to get. Even people inside the Housing Authority who were speaking with us said, we've tried to ask. This is so out of the normal way we do real estate transactions. And if this real estate deal was such a good deal, why doesn't anybody want to talk about it? It just raised a lot of red flags. People in our community deserve answers. People who need housing deserve answers. And now to learn that a lot of these deals are making it difficult for the city and county to provide basic services because of the taxes that they are pulling out of our communities, we know this is a big issue, and it is our job to get to the bottom of what's really going on.
Co-producer is going to give you unique sounds that actually fits your track in seconds. Let me show you. First, let it listen. Looking for the vocal chop. This is nice. Just drag and drop it seamlessly. Let's see. West Coast synth. Oh, that's it. And the cool thing is all of the sounds are royalty free. If I have no idea, co-producer can help. Cute. This is nice. Help me find similar samples. Just some nice sprinkles. This is what helps me finish the track. No more digging into library.
Houston Housing Authority may soon remove thousands of people from its Houston Choice voucher waitlist.
That's if already registered applicants don't save their spots. The voucher program provides rental assistance to those in need. Katira Winfrey is live to explain the deadlines and the action to take right now. Katira.
Ron and Sherman, the Houston Housing Authority says about 18,000 people are on the Houston Choice or the Housing Choice voucher wait list. But since May 1st, Fewer than 1,000 people have logged on to save their spot, and with concerns about possible cuts in federal funding, they are urging people to act now. Houston Choice Vouchers, formerly known as Section 8, has a waiting list nearly 10 years old, and there could be thousands still listed who no longer need or want housing vouchers. And it's those applicants who may be slowing down the award process for others, including Taylor Richards.
I have a medically complex child. He's really been unstable, and I haven't been able to work since he's come home from the NICU.
She's used to working a full-time job, but the priority right now is her son. Houston Housing Authority is in the middle of a required update to its Houston Choice Voucher wait list. 18,000 applicants are listed.
We're moving through the list as best as we can. It's just a matter of how much funding is available to call the next person off the list.
They are calling it Save My Spot. Those already on the wait list have until June 2nd to register in the FA portal, update contact information, and select Save My Spot or be purged from the list.
All of them have been on since 2016. It's just a matter of determining who still wants to remain on the list.
Others have until May 16th to apply for the project-based voucher. It's tied to specific housing communities and typically have shorter waiting times. Richards is looking into that. And with federal funding on the chopping block in a variety of areas, concern is high.
That spikes my anxiety so much in a really widespread spectrum because my child, he has Medicaid.
Housing representatives say don't wait.
The sooner people get served that need the subsidy, the better.
And the Housing Authority says it may be challenging for some to navigate all of this, but they are providing help right here on site to help walk people through the entire process. And again, the deadline to save your spot is June 2nd. Reporting live in Houston, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million last year, actually.
What line of work are you in?
I'm in sales.
Okay, what's the best advice you can give someone that's in sales?
You're only as good as your sales reps and your CRM.
What CRM do you use?
We used to use one of the old legacy CRMs, but it just didn't give us the speed and agility that we needed. But then we switched to Monday CRM and sales started flying.
Why is the CRM so important?
Well, no specific CRM can make you a millionaire, but if you want to move fast in today's world, you need a CRM that doesn't hold you back. Monday CRM propels you forward. Instead of spending time messing around with old systems.
Houston Mayor Don Whitmire and other city leaders unveiled a new Emancipation Avenue Center aimed at helping people experiencing homelessness. That facility, a super hub, will offer health care, housing, and substance use support. But nearby residents are raising concerns about safety and transparency. KPRC2 reporter Rochelle Turner is live with what residents are saying this afternoon. Rochelle? Lisa, about a handful of residents actually showed up to the tour this morning, and they told us that this tour should have been open to the public. That's where we met Maddie Egan. She lives in the 2nd Ward, just a few blocks away from where we're standing. It's actually a 10-minute walk to this exact spot. Now, she told us that she supports this building, but she has plans and says that the city has not been transparent about those plans. It's also important to note that the city still has to vote on the approval of this $16 million facility. Now, Maddie had the opportunity to ask Larry Satterwhite some questions today outside of the tour, and he is the Director of Homeland Security and Public Safety. Here's how that exchange went.
We at least get the civility ordinance in place within a 1-mile radius of this area. I think it might help the community.
So the civility zone is a civility zone, like the Edo civility zone and the downtown Central Business District civility zone, both of them. However far that reaches right now is 24/7.
Egan showed up to the Houston Homeless Living Center on Emancipation Avenue, hoping to be a part of the mayor's tour. The city says the new site will serve as a triage and transitional center connecting people to health care, treatment, and housing.
My concern is that there's $16 million being spent on this very quickly, and it's appraised at $6 million. There is no security implementation that's been given to us other than trust us.
She wants answers about safety and how the city plans to protect her neighborhood.
How are they going to keep us secure, keep it clean? They held this media event now. They haven't voted on it.
During the tour, city leaders showed reporters where people would receive care and counseling. Satterwhite says the facility will include 225 beds, 24-hour security, and patrols to help keep the area safe.
We will have resources in this area doing additional patrols, working on this, because we made a promise to this community that we were going to make this area the best area. So that's the plan. We will have additional resources out here. If we get additional funding, we will deploy that funding to security and outreach in this area. The idea is that everybody close to this facility gets the most benefit out of this facility.
Now, I did ask the mayor about potential sites that the city is looking at. He told me that they're still working out the details, but nothing is set in stone. Now, City Council is expected to vote on the purchase of this facility on Wednesday. Coming up at 5, Maddie actually invited us to her home in the 2nd Ward, and she showed us a school and a park that's right across the street from her home, where she says the homeless people already gather. Reporting live in Edo, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News. We will see you then, Rochelle. Thank you.
ABC 13 Sky Eye footage shows federal investigators swarm a Houston Housing Authority property Tuesday. The HHA tells ABC 13 they had been served a search warrant by the HUD Office of Inspector General for soil samples at the point at Bayou Bend, a 400-unit affordable housing property. Records show the sprawling multi-million-dollar development sits at the site of an old city incinerator and is laden with toxic ash.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And if the only thing stopping me from making the app is the idea, then why not build an app that gives me endless app ideas? So let's make it. Pro tip, I draft the full app spec in ChatGPT, and then I drop the prompts directly into Base 44. It gives me super detailed structure. And here it is. Everything I laid out in detail as it goes. This is pretty awesome, but I want to make it playful. So I'm going to add a swipe left and swipe right interface. The same usability we all know. Now I'm going to add one more feature. So every idea that I favorite will turn into a kickoff prompt to start building the app itself. And that's it. Just come up with your idea, any idea, and Base 44 will do the rest. So go to Base 44 and create apps with your name on it.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combos you want, bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. Just describe the vibe you want, or even use the colors of your logo, and let AI do its thing. Beautiful. Next up is the AI section creator. This is great for those website essentials, like a contact section or a place to subscribe. Now, I'm running a sale, so I punch in some details, and just like that, I have a promo section. Functional and beautiful. I love it. Now, for the AI text creator. I got some products that need description, so I type in some keywords, and there it is. I've got copy that lands. Now, let's see what the AI image creator can do. Sometimes you just want to spice up your visual game. Type your idea and watch it turn into a high-quality image in seconds. You can have some real fun with this. If you need to tweak something, just brush it over, write what you want, and there it is. I may not be an artist, but that's art. If you're ready to build something you love, head to Wix.
Well, only on Fox tonight, strong evidence emerging that the Houston Housing Authority suppressed knowledge of toxic contamination when it asked the state to help financially back a low-income housing project. That's right, Fox 26 political reporter Greg Rugen has been all over. He's here now in the studio with yet another breaking development. Greg.
Yeah, Rashi and Caroline, lying by omission is still lying. When the state of Texas asked if there was a safety risk on or near the property to be developed, the Housing Authority could have come clean about the toxic contamination they knew was there. Instead, they said nothing, a decision which may well prove very costly.
That place is right in the middle of like contamination central.
Fox 26 was the first to report fresh revelations regarding the Houston Housing Authority's controversial 800 Middle Street low-income development. In documents we obtained from 2019, both HHA and its development partner, NRP, admit residual contamination remained on the property purchased for the $130 million project. And the two entities further conceded that land directly adjacent to the multifamily complex was so toxic it was unfit for any type of development.
And don't get any sneakier than this.
Turns out that 2 years later in 2021, when the Housing Authority applied dollars in state-backed bonds from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Development, neither HHA nor its development partner disclosed any of the concerns. Asked if the development was within 300 feet of dump sites, they failed to disclose. Asked if the project was in proximity to an environmental factor that may adversely affect health and safety, HHA and its partner failed to disclose. Fox 26 legal analyst Chris Tritico says the Housing Authority appears to have violated both state and federal law.
I reviewed all the documents in this case, and
You caught me off guard.
it shows that the
Damn.
parties knew that this land was contaminated when they filled out the documents and left that information out. They made material misrepresentations to the state government and to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Those material misrepresentations are a crime.
LULAC Greater Houston President Sergio Lira is disgusted by what he calls a boondoggle.
This is our taxpayers' dollars financing these developers while they profit and the poor people always suffer.
We've heard back from the Housing Authority, which says it's providing the state and the city with additional environmental reports to, in its words, confirm the site's acceptability for residential use. Our question: why didn't you provide that scientific proof before running through tens of millions of tax dollars? In the studio, Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News.
Very interesting there. Thank you, Greg.
It is not safe to live on this land. This land is contaminated.
Investigators from multiple federal agencies converging on the Middle Street property this morning. The HUD Office of Inspector General serving a warrant to collect soil samples. The property's right next to the city's former trash incineration plant, and toxic ash was found buried on a portion of it last year.
You have to clean it up first, then you put housing.
The Housing Authority didn't check a box acknowledging environmental hazards. The project moved forward, and as late as this summer, the Housing Authority insisted the soil of the building site was safe.
Q is saying the issues haven't been resolved. That is a huge red flag.
Toxic ash is notorious for dangerous chemicals like lead and arsenic. Some living nearby say they're already feeling the effects.
This game, you're not ready for it.
After years of public outcry and concern, federal agents descended on the Houston Housing Authority's controversial 800 Middle Street project. Fox 26 political reporter Greg Grugan has been following this story on the front lines for us for the past 2 years. He's been all over this one. He's joining us now live from the East End here. Greg.
Yeah, Anthony, the concern here has always been contamination and potential fraud, and the ugly prospect of forcing poor families to move next door to toxic waste dumps. More than a dozen federal agents with local law enforcement in support serving a search warrant at 800 Middle Street, the Houston Housing Authority's highly controversial low-income project for 400 families. The $140 million complex is under heavy scrutiny because it's literally surrounded by toxic dump sites, an alarming fact first reported by Fox 26.
It's important to remember they plan to put 400 low-income families here. That's 600 to 700 kids that are going to be playing in this neighborhood.
Neighborhood activist Alan Atkinson has waged a 5-year battle to expose the risk posed to residents. He believes both the Housing Authority and developer NRP lied to HUD about the amount and location of toxic waste in order to gain access to $54 million federal dollars to purchase the land. This afternoon, a drilling rig was deployed to the property directly bordering the complex. Atkinson is confident the test wells will reveal a clear and present danger.
In certain areas, they're going to discover ash that's 22 feet deep. And this is ash that's highly toxic, created by the City of Houston incinerator property.
That evidence could prove critical because HUD forbids construction of federal low-income housing within 3,000 feet of environmental hazards. And if it's proven that the information was suppressed to gain access to federal funding, criminal charges could follow.
This is the worst place you could possibly build affordable housing, and they knew it privately behind the scenes. They knew it, and we have the documents that show they knew about this contamination.
Ironically, this FBI raid took place about a quarter mile from the deadly helicopter tower crash, a tower which was also seen as a potential environmental hazard to 800 Middle Street. Meantime, we haven't heard from the Housing Authority, which consistently claims this place is safe to live in. For now, we're live on the East End. Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News.
I would say it's like having another producer in the room that knows exactly what your song needs. This is Co-Producer, the fastest way to find samples that fit your track. It listens to your track and pulls in samples.
Thousands of low-income families in Houston have waited years to get rental assistance.
Well, then last year, in February, the Houston Housing Authority announced it was out of money and couldn't issue any more housing choice vouchers at all.
Investigative reporter Amy Davis met with the new HHA president and CEO to find out when the agency will begin accepting applications again.
Jamie Bryant just took over at the Houston Housing Authority as president and CEO 2 months ago. He says he's working to get HHA on track, focusing on its main mission to provide housing and support for Houston families. And the Housing Choice Voucher Program is a big part of that. This is money HHA gives to private landlords to cover most of a family's monthly rent. About 19,000 families in Houston get the vouchers, but thousands more are on a wait list to get help. Bryant said the problem is while landlords have increased rent over the last few years, HUD has not kept up, failing to increase the amount of money it is giving HHA for the voucher program. So when can people expect the Housing Authority to begin issuing vouchers again?
That's a question we're getting from a lot of people. And unfortunately, our number one, it won't be anytime soon. It's likely not going to be till the end of the year, maybe early next year, unless we get new allocations from HUD.
Bryant said the Houston Housing Authority does have some voucher money available for veterans through the Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing, or VASH program. If you're a veteran, you can contact the VA Medical Center to get more information on how to apply. He said there are also a few vouchers that will be available for families in need to use at specific properties. The Housing Authority plans to release those details later this month. I'm Amy Davis, KPRC 2 News.
Stunning discoveries this morning by KPRC2 investigates into how the Houston Housing Authority was spending money last year, all while saying their funds to provide rent relief to those who need it most had dried up.
Investigative reporter Amy Davis has spent months exposing HHA for a series of questionable contracts and projects. Amy's back now with these new developments. So, Amy, what happened when you asked the Houston Housing Authority to open up?
Yeah, good morning. So back when we started these investigations, we started asking for these records. And so we looked at credit card statements going all the way back to 2023. And we found HHA leaders eating out at Houston's fanciest restaurants and celebrating with multiple parties and massages at work. Joey Uptown in the Galleria was a favorite lunch spot for Houston Housing Authority executive leadership. In December of 23, 13 of them enjoyed lobster tail, ribeyes, and cheesecake, racking up an $1,153 tab. 2 days earlier, another Christmas luncheon at the Warwick, just under $400. A 2-hour cocktail reception that same month at King Ranch, Texas, cost you more than $7,600. But if you missed those, all HHA employees were invited to a holiday party at the Gallery a week later that cost more than $8,000. And an end-of-year employee appreciation lunch from Pappadeaux. We found a catered lunch from Papacitos for Unity Day last August that added up to more than $10,000. These expenses are just a handful of the charges we noted reviewing HHA credit card statements for 5 employees. Like chair massages at the office in September, that cost $2,300. It's a small fortune for senior Janet Hoffart, who's facing eviction. What does $2,300 mean to you?
It means a lot. It means almost 2 months of rent paying.
So those are just a few examples of what we found. But tonight at 6, we found nearly $100,000 was spent on travel and tens of thousands more on dining out, eating at these restaurants. We're going to show you who spent the money. And since the president and CEO and his assistant resigned because of our investigation, we're also asking new HHA leadership if we'll get that money back and how they're going to stop this kind of fraud and waste from happening again now moving forward.
Yeah, certainly got to manage the money a little better.
Like who's watching, who's approving and signing off on all these things?
Well, they're not. They're getting massages. That's way more fun.
That's a lot of money for massages.
Yeah.
6 months after our 2 Investigates team uncovered shady contracts at the Houston Housing Authority that cost you millions of dollars, an outside investigation commissioned by the HHA board confirmed our findings.
And today, the board released an executive summary of that commission review of 2 projects. The summary reveals the project to install window units at 3 housing projects in 2023 went $3.1 million over budget because of mismanagement, inexperience, and unqualified contractors, and also a lack of oversight. It found contractors were paid for work that has not been completed even to this day. The Columbia Tap Trail project to connect CUNY homes with the walking trail left residents without tables, benches, and lighting that contractors were paid to install.
We were not the board who approved or oversaw either of these projects. The investigation has proven extremely helpful to our new president and his new leadership team, who have embraced the opportunity to strengthen our internal processes.
Former HHA President David Northern resigned last year in exchange for an agreement that the board would not investigate or reveal any alleged wrongdoing by him.
So the Rainbow Crosswalk on Taft and Westheimer is gone. It was removed earlier this morning, but not without a fight. Many protesters trying to stop that removal, and they were actually arrested, 4 of them. Some residents say that they are concerned about what else could be removed because of the governor's new mandate to remove markings on roads with political ideologies. Well, that includes Houston's 3rd Ward, a Black Lives Matter and George Floyd tribute. It stretches across the street. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore speaking with some residents there and city leaders about their concerns.
The George Floyd mural and Black Lives Matter tribute here on Alabama Street serve as a reminder. And for community members that live nearby, they tell me they're concerned it could be erased and they don't want to see it go.
It mean a lot to them. Well, if it hadn't mean anything, they never would have did what they did here.
In the community where George Floyd grew up, this mural that reads Black Lives Matter, along with an image of his Yates High School jersey, serve as a reminder of what happened to him, according to the people that live close by. Dr. Carolyn Evans Shabazz, council member for District D, says the murals were created by local artists and funded by the community.
I thought it was a good idea for the younger people that in our generation coming up. They need to know what happened. And I don't think the mirror is bothering anyone. It makes me feel sad because what else we gonna show these children? You know what I'm saying? It's coming up that happened to Floyd. They need to know. I don't think it should be removed.
Unfortunately, that was the reality Monday morning in Montrose as people lined Taft and Westheimer to protest the removal of the Rainbow Crosswalk. Community members in 3rd Ward say they are hoping something will be done to stop this. We did reach out to Councilwoman Dr. Carolyn Evans Shabazz, who represents District D, and she said in part, quote, "While the state's recent directive has caused alarm, I want our residents to know that my office is in communication with the mayor's administration and city's departments to ensure that the community's voice is heard in any discussions that could affect these tributes." We cannot legislate compassion, and we cannot erase history by painting over it.
Do something, stand against it. Don't let them just have their way and do anything that they want to do, take advantage of it. The rules and the things that they already, the city councilman put here, and they stand for, stand against them. That's all I have to say about that.
Now, we did reach out to Metro, who was in charge of removing the rainbow crosswalk in Montrose, about the possibility of a removal here, but at the time of this report, we have not heard back. Reporting in Houston's 3rd Ward, Leslie Dellisbor, Fox 26 News.
We begin with some breaking news. The CEO of the Houston Housing Authority, David Northern, has been placed on leave, and he will likely be let go. This all comes after several major issues have come to light over the years, among them the agency's knowledge about toxic property contamination on a multi-million-dollar low-income housing project. Our Greg Grugan broke that story, and we'll continue to follow this breaking story on the air and on Fox Local.
Now, we have some new developments this morning in our investigation into the Houston Housing Authority and its misuse of tax dollars. The information we exposed led to the resignation of HHA President and CEO David Northern.
We told you last month that Northern agreed to resign in a settlement with the Housing Authority. Investigative reporter Amy Davis has obtained a copy of that exact settlement, and she's here now to share the details that will probably upset you, if not shock you. Amy?
Yeah, probably will, Danielle, because we already told you that Northern's deal with the HHA said he would get 6 months of his salary to just walk away. But it's more than that. So we want to just catch you up here for a moment. Northern came to Houston as HHA's president and CEO in 2022. So he was here just over a little over 2 years. We uncovered a slew of questionable contracts and shady deals that he signed. So he resigned while he was under investigation by the Houston Housing Authority Board. So now we received a copy of that settlement that the new board approved. We're going to come back on camera here because it shows that Northern received 6 months of pay and paid time off. That was a total of more than $210,000. But I want to show you something here when it catches up. 469 hours of that was for paid time off. That's $65,000 for like 58 vacation days or more than 11 weeks of pay. We reached out to the chairman of the Housing Authority to ask, how is this possible? So Jody Proler had to check, but he told me that no one had ever marked the vacation time that Northern had used over the last 2 years. So in their payroll system, it appeared that he was owed all of his paid time off, even though he has taken at least some of it. But there's more in this settlement. Both parties have agreed not to sue each other, not to disparage one another. And then right on page 4, we want to show you what it says. It says that HHA agrees not to begin or continue any investigation of Northern's conduct while HHA's president and CEO, including any allegations of wrongdoing made against Northern in the ongoing investigation of those air conditioning projects of HHA. And then lastly, it says, if such an investigation occurs, HHA will not issue findings on Northern's potential culpability. Now, the board chairman did tell me that the investigation into those contracts and payouts is ongoing. They haven't stopped that because there are still other employees working at HHA who were participants in the questionable contracts and payouts for work that was never completed. So, Danny, Owen, we will stay on top of this. We're continuing to dig. There's still more to uncover there. But you think, like, okay, they're moving forward, and then we just said, let's just take a look at how much he was paid out.
Details.
Right, yeah. And so the chairman of the board said the Board of Commissioners and himself, they have asked now an investigation to the chief financial officer, to the interim president CEO, who authorized paying him for 11 weeks of vacation time, and who should have been logging the hours when he took that time.
Can that settlement be changed at all, or that's a done deal?
He's already got it. I mean, what else came to light is that the Housing Authority people gave him that full $210,000 before he had even signed the settlement.
Wow.
So they had to go back and say, you know, within 24 hours, if you don't sign it, we're going to claw it back or somehow legally try to do that.
Well, we know you'll stay on top of it, Amy. Thank you.
Thanks.
First tonight, we learned a whole lot more money is coming to Houston for Hurricane Harvey victims.
Houston and Harris County received more than $2 billion combined from the federal government, but right now it's wrapped up in red tape.
And it could be months before anyone sees a dime. Larry Siebert is live to explain what exactly is the holdup with all this money tonight, Larry.
Well, Lynn, this has nothing to do with FEMA. It is the beginning of long-term help from the U.S. Housing Department that requires months of planning to spend.
Texans slapped red by loss from Hurricane Harvey scored $5 billion from HUD, money for home reconstruction, buyouts, repair improvements, help with utility and rent. Unlike FEMA money, this is supposed to buy permanent affordable homes for working families struggling.
Their school teachers, their nurses, their first-year firefighters or police officers.
Of those stranded for weeks after the storm in GRB's emergency shelter, 33 landed new apartments through New Hope Harrisburg. Peyton Johnson lost all of his belongings, wants little more than a job to buy his own place, but he's skeptical of HUD's promise.
Hopefully it helps. And hopefully they stand by their word.
So is Charles London. Floodwater shifted the foundation and wrecked the inside of his place in Kashmir Gardens. The house and $5,000 check from FEMA are in his mother's name, but she died before the storm, along with his wife and brother. So London can't afford repairs or empty promises.
Sound good, but I got to see it. You know, whereas you can say what you want to say. Until I see it, I believe.
Harris County and Houston each get over $1 billion. For the next 2 or 3 months, staff will meet with those who need it the most, then decide who gets what in the fall, over a year after Harvey.
But this isn't go up and slap some paint on a home and kind of just get it livable.
City Housing Director Tom McCaslin sees a chance to help victims get ahead.
So that people are beginning to build wealth in their household and are bouncing forward, as the mayor says, as opposed to just recovering from Harvey.
While he believes Houston could transform, victims hope he's right.
Distribution for that money is going to come through the city of Houston for Houstonians. Houston is getting about 10 times what it got after Hurricane Ike, and this time officials say the wait for the money is actually much shorter. Live in 5th Ward, standing for Houston, Larry Seaver, KHOU 11 News.
Some really good news to people's ears. Thanks so much, Larry. All right.
If I hear one more person or read one more comment that says, oh, you'll get paid when all this is over, I don't know why you're worrying. Getting paid when all this is over is not paying my bills today. We are dealing with the consequences of someone else's actions. So don't you dare blame me for not being prepared. Oh, you should have money in savings. Oh, you're a federal employee. You should be prepared for this kind of stuff. No. That's where you're wrong.
Well. Look where we are today.
Help me, I'm poor.
Listen, this is wild. This is wild. Imagine taking no accountability while still being a loyalist. What the hell's going on over here? And then describing why you shouldn't be blamed because you were loyal. Listen, guys, look, I can't make this stuff up. Remember when we did those videos and I told you guys, hey, federal workers, hey, let's be honest. You do know that they're gonna do layoffs. Listen, I know what they're telling you. They're telling you it's just a furlough. And I know you guys believe them. But let me explain this to you. They will lay you off. And let's just say the federal workers, they didn't like the message. They said, Orlando, listen, you're fear-mongering. Orlando, what are you talking about? It's just a furlough. We go through this all the time.
Here we go.
Well, unfortunately, if you guys haven't seen the news today, they started layoffs. Let me say this clearly. They did exactly what they said they were going to do. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, too, you know what I'm about to say. I have a newsletter, and it's completely free. How can you be free? And also, too, guys, if you need any type of financing that deals with commercial properties or investment properties, I am your guy. I've been in lending for almost 20 years, and I can assist you with that. That information will be in the description and the pinned comment, guys. Let's jump straight to it. If you guys haven't been following what's been going on with the government shutdown, I've been telling individuals over and over and over that, yes, I get it. You're furloughed, and you're going to get your back pay. This is nothing but a paid vacation.
Sure.
But the one thing that I said to everybody is, hey, listen, I know you guys think you're on a paid vacation. And I said, but yeah, they're going to lay you off. I don't want anybody to get laid off. But I'm telling you, based on the history of your boss, based on the history of your corporation, they will lay you off.
I shouldn't have to take out of my savings because someone else can't do their freaking job. Meanwhile, I'm here being essential, taking care of people, and I can't even do my job, but I'm the one getting yelled at and cussed out because still someone else's actions. Have some compassion.
See, listen. I mean, you guys heard her, right? Who needs to say? Because you got to trust the other person. The other person has to do their job. We all know saving isn't anything personal, right? It's not something that's personal, that is an emergency for you, right? It's nothing like that. Why would you need to do that? Why would you need to do that? If you listen to what this lady is telling you, then you should be okay, right? Money will magically fall from the sky. Money will just magically prop up just because you're mad. That's how things work. If you're mad, things get fixed.
That's it easy.
Do you understand what I'm saying? If you would take advice from a lady like this, you're going to be sitting on your hands. You're going to be sitting wondering, how am I going to make next month's car note? How am I going to make the rent? How am I going to make all the other bills? Because you know who won't care? That your boss isn't doing their job and that you're an essential worker, but you're not getting a paycheck? You know who won't care? Let me explain to you. Your utility bill, your bank that has your mortgage, your landlord. Yeah. They all don't care. That's the truth. They don't care. They want their money. And if they don't get their money, then guess what's going to happen? Just guess what's going to happen. You're going to be kicked out. You're not going to have a car. Your power's going to get turned off.
It's bad. Real bad.
This is the reason why I'm telling individuals, hey, prepare. And she's against preparing. Hence the reason why she's in her said situation. But let me guess, you still don't believe that there's layoffs happening. Well, let's go ahead and just look at the news ourselves. It says, tracking the impact of Trump's shutdown, layoffs of federal workers. Let me explain this to you guys. If there is a tracker on all of the layoffs that are happening at your job, maybe you might be in the line for a layoff.
Wait, what?
Let's get straight to the tracker. It says here, the Treasury Department, the layoffs that are just happening this month, basically 1,500 people. Health and Human Services, 600. Education, 466. Housing and Urban Development, 442. Commerce, 315. Energy, 187. Homeland Security, 176. A lot of people will look at it and be like, woo! Oh, man, that's all of the layoffs? Woo. Man, okay, look, I made it again. I'm past round 5.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And you would think to yourself, hey, man, please tell me you're saving something. Hey, ma'am, please tell me you don't think that your job is stable and that you're looking elsewhere if you have the opportunity to. Please tell me you're getting your credit together. But some people aren't. Some people are still coming forth, coming on this channel, commenting and saying, Orlando, listen, man. This is not really going to happen. I know they just laid off another 5,000 to 6,000 people in the month of October, but let me explain to you something. Let me explain this to you. They're not going to lay people off like this heavily. Do you know what's coming up? Christmas. The holidays.
Merry Christmas and whatnot.
These guys, they have a heart. They would never lay us off on Christmas and holidays. Don't you know?
Yeah, I do know. But I'm sorry to bust your bubble. But that's when companies lay off the most.
Oh my God.
And I'm also here to tell you this too. Companies don't care about holidays. The only reason why companies care about holidays, more money.
Get money.
That's the only reason why they care. You thought that they cared. Oh, I get it now. You thought that they cared because they were putting more money in your pocket so that you could spend more money on I get it. Oh. No. See, they only care because they're making more money. They're making more money at this time of the year than they will at any other time of the year. That's the reason why.
You've been bamboozled.
And I know, I heard you in the back. You said, Orlando, I got seniority. Yeah, my job at the government, they've been telling me for a long time that this department would not run without me. They've been telling me, you've been here for 23 years? Man, you're the leader of this department. What will we do without you? They're not going to cut me. Well, what'd you say? Get smart there?
I have been a government employee for my agency for 21 years. So I've been through a couple of these. The work I do is what they call essential. And what that means is even though we are not getting paid at the time, I still have to report to work and serve every day, 9 to 5. And I don't know when my paycheck is coming. I literally love what I do. But the security, the stability that I love about being a government employee is out the window this month. Tomorrow will be a partial payment. The shutdown went into effect on October the 1st. So thankfully, we do get paid up until September 30th. This check may have to cover the whole month versus just the next 2 weeks.
And see, this is what I'm trying to protect you against. If you listen to what she said and you dive deep into the words that she said, this paycheck, even though it's partial, it will have to cover me for the entire month. But if you had an emergency savings account, would this be the case? Hell no! People say, Orlando, why do I need to prepare for a government shutdown? And I say, I'm supposed to be planning for an emergency. An emergency that will happen 100%. Do you not understand? It's not that you're preparing for a government shutdown. You are preparing for anything that would happen so that you would be taken care of.
Write it down and keep it for future reference.
You would think that I'm taking money away from people. The way that I'm telling individuals, save. It's almost like I'm saying Candyman or Beetlejuice 3 times to these people. You know, it's like, Orlando, budgeting? Oh my, saving? What are you talking about? But I think this is a great time for Orlando University. Guys, this is a lecture. This is going to be just a little small lecture here. What are you trying to protect people from, Orlando? Well, students, listen. We know what's going to happen. Everybody currently, right now, that's not getting paid, if they don't have the money in savings, which we know most people do, where are they going to get the money from? Credit cards.
I can't stand looking at that thing.
So we know that people are right now accumulating credit card debt at 27, 29, 30%. And you know who's happy? The credit card companies.
I know he died. 6, 7.
When federal workers get their back pay back, let's say it all together. Do you think that people will pay back the credit card debt that they use for DoorDash, to go to Mexico on vacation, to do and buy clothes on Amazon that they don't need? Let me ask you this. You ran up your Capital One card by $10,000 in 1 month. Now, when you get your back pay, will these people pay back the credit card? Will the people, if you have no discipline to save, what will you do when you get the back pay? You'll say, well, I'll just pay the minimums. If that's what you said, you know people, they're going to pay the minimums. They're going to skip over all of the money that they borrowed. What does that do? That puts you in a worse position presently than before the shutdown. Make it make sense. And that's what we're going to see. And I know what you're saying. Orlando, I hear you. But from what I've heard, I spoke to my neighbor the other day. He said essential workers are getting paid. Essential workers will 100%. There's laws against this. There's laws that say that you have to pay individuals and no one will miss a cent. Not one person will miss a cent. And listen, let's just listen to someone who's essential work. Let's listen to an air traffic controller Well, let's just see what he's had to say.
I'm an air traffic controller who's not getting paid right now during this government shutdown, and things could be getting a lot worse for us very soon. Because Donald Trump is threatening to not give guaranteed back pay to federal employees who were furloughed during this shutdown. Multiple news sources have reported on this. It's very likely to happen, and in fact, OMB has already deleted a reference to the law guaranteeing that back pay from their guidance for the shutdown. And just for a little bit of context, air traffic controllers are essential employees. We have to continue showing up during the shutdown, even though we're not getting paid. With that said, we're not furloughed because we have to keep coming into work. But paid leave doesn't exist during a government shutdown. So if we put in annual leave, our version of PTO, or sick leave, which is normally paid, it can't be entered that way. It has to be converted to furlough, and previously the law stated that furlough would all get back pay guaranteed. Now, not guaranteeing that back pay creates a few issues. First of all, air traffic controllers, we request our time off a year in advance. Every year at the end of the year, right around this time or the next month or two, we request all of our leave that we're going to get for the next year. So we have to plan a whole year in advance.
So you're telling me loyalty to a company, loyalty to politicians, loyalty to anyone other than you and yourself and your family, it doesn't work? What? I don't understand. You weird, buddy. And I get it. So a lot of people think to themselves, it's not going to happen to me. There's no way they're going to, because I'm their favorite. I'm the job's favorite. When they need a project done, Orlando, they call me.
Yeah, I heard that. That's corny.
You 100% believe you're the favorite child. You're the favorite employee. Everybody needs you. But here's the thing. The corporation, the federal agency, the job, whatever it is, whoever you believe in, it will run 100% without you. Fact. I know. Listen, I know it's shocking to you. It's shocking. But let me explain this to you really quickly. They don't need you. They will forget you hours after you leave the building. Bye. See you when I see you. Goodbye. But I know what you're thinking. Orlando, nobody is getting caught off guard like that. Who would, in this era of getting shut down, who would get caught off guard? Well, I don't know.
Well, this sucks. Went to work, sign a piece of paper, saying I'm furloughed. Because the government can't get their crap together. So, tied up my loose ends and left my stuff there. And now I sit here and wait for the federal government to get their crap together. Like, I mean, I need that job. I need that paycheck. That's why I'm working multiple part-time jobs as well, because you girl can't, I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm so ready to just freak out. So, where are my other federal workers at? I'm with you.
Say it ain't so. Listen, guys, listen. We all know I don't want anyone to get fired. But there are a lot of things that we cannot control, but there are a lot of things that we can control. And the one thing that I have said from the very beginning is to sit on the sidelines with a purpose, and I still mean that. I don't care if you're trying to buy a new car, new house, you're trying to save for a coffee maker. I don't care what it is. You need to sit on the sidelines with a purpose. You need to make sure and prepare for any emergency in this bad time. If you do not do this, you are putting yourself at risk to lose everything.
Damn.
Let's make this perfectly clear. You will have to make sacrifices. It will be unpleasant because you are saving and budgeting and taking things away you do not need. That Netflix subscription. I'm sorry, you can't watch Love is Blind. Ooh, woo. I know it's crazy, right? You may have to get rid of that. And I know some people are saying, Orlando, I mean, it's only Netflix, it's only $20. And I would say, yeah, that's true. And your paycheck is only $2,000. That's 1% of your income on Netflix. Garbage. I know it sounds crazy, right? But it's the numbers. It's the numbers. Does that make sense? Imagine being furloughed today, and you're still watching Netflix. You're still signed up to Hulu. You don't know where your next paycheck is coming. You don't know if your next paycheck is coming, but you're still signed up to everything. You have $400 worth of subscriptions. That makes sense, right? Well, keep all of the expenses when I don't even know if I'm going to have a job next month. Don't be a fool. But listen. We're going to end it because I can talk about this all day. But we're going to end it here, guys. It's going to get worse before it gets better, guys. Please, if you love content like this, please join the Patreon. We do exclusive videos over there. You will love it. Also, too, you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, and get you to your first rental property. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks.
A question we get all the time is, how do you do culinary school online? And the way we do it is by focusing on technique. Taste and flavor is very subjective. Technique is not. What we also do is teach you how to taste your food. We'll talk to you about what you should expect in tastes and textures and flavors to really broaden your palate as well, which is a really important part of being successful in the food service industry.
I feel like my generation is past the point of freaking out because we've lived through so much shit that we're just like, what are we supposed to do? We literally can't stop our companies from laying people off. We do our best to get into other markets, but every single industry is dying right now. I work in public health. The Trump administration's cut mostly all of our funding for all of our programs this year, hence all the layoffs. I have friends who work in housing commission and try to help homeless people. They have had insane mass layoffs. They're asking for people to literally voluntarily furlough right now. I have friends who work in the UC school system that have gone through layoffs. I have friends who work in big tech, AI, Google, NVIDIA, Microsoft who have been laid off. So there's literally not a single industry right now that's not being affected. And it's what can we do?
Who's going to tell her? Let me just say it like this. This is the truth. It's going to get worse. And I know it seems pretty bad right now, but let me tell you this. It has been worse, and it will get worse. Listen. It seems like some people are late to the party. Some people are just saying to themselves,
when did all of these industries start laying off individuals? When did federal workers get on the chopping block? Isn't this the most stable industry in the world?
Some people are scratching their head and saying, I thought it was just tech.
Sure.
Orlando, I thought it was just tech. And I said, first time. Listen, you haven't seen my videos, have you? Because I've been telling people from the very, very, very beginning that it's just not tech. And if you think it's just tech, you're going to have a rude awakening. And we're here today.
Somebody had to go.
Let me explain to you guys. It's going to get worse. Because we are going into the holiday season. I know. You wait to spend money on Black Friday.
Shut up and take my money.
I know you guys can't wait to spend tons of money on Thanksgiving. I know you guys can't wait. Oh, man. Spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Christmas. Because they're going to give you great deals on that television.
Damn, dude, that's tight.
Yeah, I like that shit. And I know some people just can't wait to go spend all their hard-earned money. All the hard-earned money, plus interest, on items that nobody will care about in a couple of months.
Garbage.
And if you've been following this channel, you know this is the time that companies will lay off. Now listen, I hear you. You're like, Orlando, what is the proof that this is going to happen? You're going to see it. You know I'm going to give you receipts. So go ahead and watch this whole video because you're going to need this information. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, too, guys, you know what I'm about to say. I have a newsletter, and guess what? It's free. How can you beat free? You can't beat it. But also, too, you if you need any type of financing that deals with commercial properties or investment properties. I'm your guy. I've been a lender for almost 20 years, and I can assist you with that. That information is in the pinned comment and the description, guys. Let's jump straight into it. Guys, remember when back in the day, people used to come onto the channel, they used to make these videos, they used to go into the media and they say, listen, guys, it's just tech. It's just tech. Yeah. Listen, there's just a lot of stuff going on, but tech is just getting its extra employees that it brought on seasonally. You know, during that COVID situation, right? The pandemic, right? Remember that? They're saying, listen, it was just tech. Nowadays, people are saying, wait a minute. It's every industry?
Really?
You're telling me that every industry is laid off? And I say, yeah. I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you. It's just not tech. If you just look at the data, if you look at all of the money, all the things going up, you would have had to know that we will eventually come down. That you can't continue to have triple-digit returns. You can't have a housing market go up 50, 60, 70% in 2 to 3 years. God damn!
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And if the only thing stopping me from making the app is the idea, then why not build an app that gives me endless app ideas? So let's make it. Pro tip, I draft the full app spec in ChatGPT, and then I drop the prompts directly into Base 44. It gives me super detailed structure. And here it is. Everything I laid out in detail as it goes. This is pretty awesome, but I want to make it playful. So I'm going to add a swipe left and swipe right interface. The same usability we all know. Now I'm going to add one more feature. So every idea that I favorite will turn into a kickoff prompt to itself. And that's it. Just come up with your idea, any idea, and Base 44 will do the rest. So go to Base 44 and create apps with your name on it.
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, I'm not naming names. They all suck. Monday, total opposite. It didn't just work, it spread. And people became Monday evangelists. And you know why? Because people actually liked using it. It's not a chore. It's intuitive. You don't have to force anyone. They're on board. You can really see that Monday care about their user. The user is king. You can create workflows yourselves, no IT, no admins.
And you guys think that's sustainable? You think we're gonna do this every single year like these real estate agents? Yeah, don't worry about it, John. Don't worry about it. We're gonna hit another 10% this year in appreciation. Really? Today's video is sponsored by Baselane. One of the biggest mistakes that I see from real estate investors is they're trying to organize everything on a notebook. They're trying to use Excel spreadsheet for bookkeeping. You know, they're using their personal account for investment properties. See, this is where Baselane comes in. They have automated rent collection, bookkeeping, and banking so that you can focus on growing. And the only way to do that is through organization. And that's the reason why Baselane is such a great tool. It has integrated banking and bookkeeping. Baselane auto syncs transactions from both Baselane and external accounts. It also does reports, income statements, net cash flow, and property level performance. Baselane banking features has no hidden fees, guys. No monthly account maintenance fees, no minimum balances, and no surprise charges. Baselane's accounts are designed for real estate in mind. Go ahead and check out Baselane and use my link, baselane.com/Orlando, and get a $100 cash bonus when you fund the account. Now back to the video. So I explained to everybody that during this holiday season, we will have continued layoffs. And matter of fact, I know what you guys are thinking. Seasonally, shouldn't they be hiring more people? Listen, that's smart. That's smart. But the answer to that is no. No. See, they're going to lay off individuals now and at the beginning of the year. Yeah. See, you don't believe me, right? You don't believe me. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at Amazon. Amazon is planning a new wave of layoffs, sources say. What? Are you telling me Amazon with Black Friday and Christmas, they're gonna lay off? But they did this last year and the year before that. Yeah, see, that's the secret. All you have to do is look at the patterns. But you don't believe me. I get it. It's just Amazon. It's tech. Let's take a look. Nestle to cut 16,000 jobs as new CEO ignites turnaround fire. Oh, a food service company. Now we're in a different industry. Now I know. It's just food industry and tech. Okay. Listen, I get it. More than 3,000 Illinois workers have received layoff notices in the last 90 days. So now we're in state, federal department. I know what you're saying. Orlando, it's just tech, it's just service industries, and it's federal, state workers. That's all it is, Orlando. Oh, okay. Okay, you got me. Metro Detroit Auto Supplier announces 133 layoffs as it closes 5 locations. You get where we're going, right? We're in the auto industry now. And these are all current. This isn't old news. This is today's news.
Man, I'm dead.
You don't have to trust me. I get it. Your neighbor outside, he just told you everything is great. Your manager told you, listen, I know our competitor just went out of business, but we're better than them. We're situated in a better position than them. So there's no way we're going to lay off our people. That's what they're telling you, right? But let me tell you this. When they buy the competitor, do you think they're going to lay people off? When they buy the competitor for pennies on the dollar, do you think that's going to create more jobs? Or do you think they're going to lay people off? If your competitor went under, does that mean that any of the problematic things that are currently happening, low sales, tariffs, taxes, whatever it is, you don't think it will hit your company as well?
Why did people stop using single blade razors?
Well, big box companies discovered a lucrative business model in the 1970s that helped them rake in more cash from their customers. And that's why multi-blade razors were created. The business model is dependent on low-quality materials that have short lives and need to be replaced constantly. Sound familiar? The worst part was that they compromised the shaving experience too. These razors shave under the skin and leave millions of men vulnerable to bumps, burn, and breakouts. But for the past 50 years, those companies have spent billions of dollars to convince the rest of us that cartridge razors are the only option. And that's just not true. At Supply, we are on a mission to free men from irritating, boring, and overpriced shaves from cartridge razors. Now, we can't name an
It is confirmed. My company just sent out an email that they are laying off a large group of people tomorrow morning. In case you're new here, I was laid off in March this year. It took me 6 months to find a new job. Got a new job 7 weeks ago, and now this new job has announced hundreds of layoffs. What? What am I supposed to do here? Is this like a last one in, first one out situation? Is it like get rid of all the like highest paid people? Is it like keep the new hires because they were hired under a secret pretense of like knowing that these layoffs would be coming, and so we like definitely want the new people? That's gotta be it, right? I'm not even eligible for my corporate benefits. That's how little time I've been at this new job. I'm not even eligible for PTO. I'm not eligible for medical benefits yet. I still have a week to go. You're telling me that I might get laid off before I even get a chance to sign up for that shit? Part of me is like, you can't control any of this, so just move forward.
She was right about one thing. You can't control what the corporations, the politicians do, but you know the one thing that you can control? You. And this is what I've been trying to preach, yell from the rooftops. Please, please, please please take care of yourself. Now, let's use this lady for an example. She said that she just got hired. It took her an X amount of time to find a new job. She found a new job after being laid off. Now, class. What should the lesson be there? You can't trust these companies. These companies aren't loyal. You know the motto. These companies aren't loyal. So if you know, that these corporations aren't loyal and you got a new job, what should have been the first thing that you started doing? If you weren't doing it already, saving. Making sure that if this happened again, like she's worried about.
You have to think, young brother, about your future. Huh?
See, the most important thing is this, guys. No one expects you to know everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. There's no one on this earth that knows everything. But here's the thing. I do expect you to learn from your mistakes. You make a mistake by giving loyalty to a corporation, and then they stab you in the back. I used to look up to you, man. How could you do this? How could you do this, bro? See, guys, this is a perfect time for Orlando University. Look, we're going to have an intervention here, guys. And I need you guys to stick with me because, listen, class, we got some people here who are lying to themselves. I know. I know. So, let me get this straight. You're currently furloughed right now, right? Okay. You've been with them for how long? Oh, 20 years. Okay. So you're furloughed right now, and you're worried about them not paying you currently. Okay, that makes sense. You're also worried that you may not have a job. Okay. Do you have a savings account? Oh, you did it because you thought you were going to have the job forever. Okay, I get it. Now that you know they're not loyal, let me ask you this. Do you still have a Netflix subscription? You do. Okay. Are you still ordering from DoorDash? Okay. Are you still using a credit card because you say, I'm just quoting what you said here, I need some relief in this stress time. I mean, that's what you said. You are using the credit card. You know that you don't even have a savings account to protect yourself, but you still have a Netflix subscription. You still use credit cards, and you're still going out to eat? Help your student. You got to speak to them. Let them know this is not the way. Matter of fact, this is the fastest way to bankruptcy.
Don't do it. You'll regret it, man. Trust me.
I know some people aren't going to like that, but it's the truth. Because as bad as you think it is, it can get worse. Because you know why it can get worse? By your own decisions. By your own decisions, you can make this worse. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to say, Orlando, this is stressful. I don't feel like trying to budget and keep my finances together while I'm in financial turmoil. I would say that's when you should. That's the time that you should be paying the most attention. Just because things aren't going great in your life currently does not mean you give up on your finances. You know why? Because your family is depending on you. It's just not you. Your family is depending on you to make sound decisions. Listen, if you don't have kids or you don't have a spouse, it is just yourself. That's even more power to make sure that you take care of yourself first.
Trust me.
Who isn't getting laid off right now? Like, I just got another friend tell me that he's getting laid off. And, like, that's like 3 in a week. I feel like nobody's really talking about how the economy is heading into the shitter. And, like, I mean, everybody's been saying, eat the rich and corporate greed for the past 3-4 years. But the only reason why those companies were so freaking greedy is because money was free. And that's one of the problems that we've had.
Now, you heard the gentleman there. He said 3 in a week. But we all know that is way more than that currently. We know now today that we're seeing thousands and thousands a week being laid off. It's either federal workers or it's Amazon, Google, auto industry like I showed you, health, teachers. All of these industries are getting laid off. And listen, my service members, we just went through this, right? I just saw you guys go through not getting paid as military members. Remember when it was like, oh, woo, I'm glad I'm in the military. I'm going to get paid. Remember when it was, man, all this other stuff happened on the outside, but it won't affect me. I'm in the military. Now it affected us. Oh my. Now, listen, I totally get it. And I am super happy for you guys. You guys got paid yesterday. You guys thought that you weren't going to get paid. And listen, I even thought it too. I even thought, well, look, it's kind of close. But let me ask you this. Do you think it's a little weird that our government is looking for couch change to pay you? Our government just used money that was supposed to be going towards the light bill, and they used it to pay rent.
I beg your pardon?
That's how you got paid on the 15th. Now, listen. You guys got that warning. My service members, military members, you got the warning. The warning is, if you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. That should have set the light bulb off in your head. I need to make sure that I'm okay. I need to make sure that I have an emergency savings account so that if this happens ever again or any other emergency, I will be ready.
That is true.
But let me guess. You guys don't remember that. Because since you got paid yesterday, everything else, forget that budgeting, forget getting my financial life together, forget all of that. But I'm going to remind you. I'm going to remind you what you guys were saying yesterday.
I don't want no Navy federal loan. I don't want a loan from USAA. I don't want to have to ask my mama for a loan. I just want my pay. That's it. Give me my pay. You see that? To get your pay, you are gonna have to get a loan from USAA. And let me make this perfectly clear so that everybody knows that aren't military members what that means. From the pay that you weren't gonna receive from the government, you can go to USAA or you can go to any of these other military banks and they were gonna give you a loan. And then once you got your back pay, it would pay off the loan. But here is the kicker. Here's the kicker. They're going to run you credit.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
So you're telling me that if you would have gotten your credit together, you would have had another option. I'm not even saying this should even be a situation at all. You know how I feel about that. I believe you guys should have got paid no matter what, regardless. I'm a veteran myself, of course I would think that. Because the one thing that I can say about these corporations or anybody who you put above you and your family is this. They're going to let you down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
And I can promise you this also. They will look out for themselves faster than they will look out for you. They will shut down your computer so fast you won't even have a chance to send an email out to your friends because they don't want to pay you 1 cent over from the time that they let you off. Zoom call over, turn off the computer, turn them off. We not paying him any more money. Zero.
CoProducer hates AI. This plugin might change your mind. This is reimagining CoProducer. You can take any sample you find and flip it into infinite, one-of-a-kind variations that are unique to you. Here's how it works. Just open up your DAW and drop in the CoProducer plugin from out.
You're inheriting somebody's control. I don't want to be controlled by nobody. Wake up, people. We gotta wake.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Developing tonight, Houston's Housing and Community Development Director is now out of a job.
And I'm Lauren Freeman in a meeting today. Now, former Director Tom McCaslin publicly accused Mayor Sylvester Turner of pulling several affordable housing programs in favor of another developer. KPRC2's Sion Rhodes is following the story and has the latest developments now. Sion?
And that firing coming, as you mentioned, shortly after the former housing director accused the mayor of a, quote, charade bidding process.
This administration is bankrolling a certain developer to the detriment of working families who need affordable homes.
During a committee meeting this morning, City of Houston Housing Director Tom McCaslin raised questions about why Mayor Turner rejected his office's warnings and recommendations against the developer of an affordable housing project in Clear Lake, Huntington at Bay Area. In memos released to City Council, McCaslin says the 4 projects his office did recommend would have used a combined total of $16.2 million in city money for 362 affordable units, versus the single project picked by the mayor, which would have cost $15 million and provided only 88 affordable units.
I want to be clear here in referencing names that at no point am I alleging fraud against the administration or fraud by anyone else. I want to emphasize that. Some people will jump to that conclusion.
So it's no fraud, it's no illegality, there's nothing wrong here. The only criticism that Tom is making is that I didn't go with his choice.
The mayor saying that he has stood by McCaslin for many years, even after McCaslin tried to resign very recently, but he says that time is up and McCaslin is now up as well. Also, the mayor facing tough questions today about state records that show that his former law partner does have a stake in the deal that the mayor chose. The mayor saying there's no wrongdoing. He was unaware of that connection. Live downtown at City Hall, Sion Rhodes, KPRC 2 News.
Good afternoon, everyone. And we're really pleased to see you all here and addressed by the Director of Housing and Community Development for the City of Houston, Tom McCaslin. But first, I'd just like to take a few moments and certainly welcome you to the Barbara Jordan Mickey Leland School of Public Affairs. I want to recognize our interim dean, Dr. Michael Adams, and also the interim chair of the Department of Urban Planning and Environmental Policy, who's
just got the money in January.
The Department of Housing and Community Development has worked hard after Hurricane Harvey. They have been dealing with the aftermath and trying to help some victims mostly affected by the storm. At the time, thousands of residents applied for FEMA help and were denied, some for no reason at all. Tom McCaslin, Director of Housing and Community Development, said he's on the front lines and has money to assist those who felt forgotten.
These funds are coming from the federal government. It's HUD, or the Housing and Urban Development Department. It's $1.3 billion of funds coming specifically for Harvey recovery. We signed the agreement with the state, who is the entity overseeing this. In January, 10 days later, we launched this program by opening up the surveys for anyone who's seeking to access these funds.
Tom and his team canvassed several areas in Houston and spoke with residents to fill out surveys in order to get money to make repairs and, for once, make their lives normal. McCaslin has received more than $3,000. The city is also offering contractors that won't take advantage of you.
If you've already started, you already have a good contractor in place, and you just need assistance finishing the work, we'll let you continue to work with your current contractor. But if you haven't started, the city has already procured those contractors. They're reputable contractors. We have strong oversight over them, and so we'll be moving the home through the repair process with those contractors.
For more information, you can log on to recoveryhouston.houstontx.gov or call the Help Center at 832-393-0550.
These are the kind of places that we can provide them in an affordable way. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I hope that we can continue to do that for decades to come.
New at 6 o'clock, Houston City Attorney says he's going to ask council members to vote next week on an outside firm to investigate accusations made by the former housing director.
Mayor Sylvester Turner fired Tom McCaslin after he publicly accused the mayor of steering $15 million in federal Hurricane Harvey relief dollars toward a preferred developer. It shows us how the mayor and McCaslin's replacement are defending the process.
McCaslin says he is not alleging fraud, but he is criticizing the handling of a senior apartment project in Clear Lake. The mayor is denying any wrongdoing, and he promised council members they would get the information they need at a special called meeting this afternoon.
There is a culture of do it because I said so.
During a City Council Housing Committee meeting September 21st, Housing Director Tom McCaslin dropped this bombshell.
I'm being forced to participate in a charade that this was a competitive process when I know it was not a competitive process.
McCaslin said the Huntington at Bay Area project would create 88 affordable housing units. But, he told council members, more than 4 times that number could have been built had the administration gone with his staff's recommendation.
This administration is bankrolling a certain developer to the detriment of working families who need affordable homes.
We need to clear the air.
Councilmember Michael Kubosh asked Mayor Turner for his side at yesterday's council meeting.
This is not a procurement issue. There was no bidding.
Kubosh also brought up claims that the mayor's former law partner would benefit through a title company.
I don't have any interest in any law firm or title business.
At a special called meeting this afternoon,
The sooner we start, the sooner we can get the answers that we all deserve.
council members heard from the interim housing director.
Everyone makes it sound like this deal had already been done and the mayor made it happen. This deal has not been done. This deal hasn't even been completed vetted. This deal has not come before you for a vote. If you don't think it's good, you can vote it down.
Some council members tried to end today's meeting early. They said they got the prep notes at the last minute and they didn't feel like they fully addressed the main issue here. If council approves that outside investigation next week, the city attorney expects it could take about a month. Adam Bennett, KHOU 11 News.
Well, an Acres Homes neighborhood has had quite the eyesore along one street for years. The street is lined with trash, infested with rodents and insects. It has gotten so bad that one neighbor had enough and called Bill Spencer to get it solved. Bill Spencer is live now in that neighborhood. Bill, how bad is it?
Sophia, take a look at this ridiculous situation on Sandal Street and Acres Homes. I mean, this is it's turned into more than just a dumping ground. I mean, this is a mountain of trash and dangerous debris, something the neighbors here have been dealing with for years. So they called me for help. In the historic Acres Homes neighborhood on Sandal Street, where people take pride in their homes, Carrie Gray, a hardworking U.S. postal worker, mother and grandmother, walks out the front door of her home that she's lived in for 47 years now and can't believe what she sees.
Actually, it doesn't feel like home living over here. It feels like it's a junk pile, a big trash pile.
Yes, right next to Carrie's home lies a massive mountain of trash, broken glass, building materials, old furniture, busted up concrete, and countless ripped bags of stinking garbage. In essence, an ever-growing dangerous dumping ground that's cast a sickening pall over this quiet little street for more than 3 years now.
It's been horrible. The flies are horrible out here. The kids can't play out here. You cannot sit outside. It's just horrible out here every day.
In addition to the trash, neighbors complain about the flies, the cockroaches, snakes, and rats that live and breed inside this bacteria-filled mess. It's so bad, Carrie and her family spend most of their time indoors. And neighbors like Leonard Johnson say their many calls for help to the city of Houston have gone completely unanswered. When you call the city and ask for them to clean it up, what do they say?
We'll send somebody out. Never call. Never come.
Angry and disgusted about having to live with this horrible situation, that's when Carrie wrote to Spencer Solves It. And immediately after seeing this problem, I agreed to clean it all up for her.
Me and my neighbors definitely would.
You'd like to see that gone?
Yes.
It'll make you happy?
Of course it will.
And it's not just the people who live here. Look at the animals, the beautiful horses. They live right across the street from this horrendous dump site. We're going to clean all of this up all day long tomorrow with the help of 2 companies, 1-800-GOT-JUNK and Lansdowne Moody. That is a huge tractor supply company. They rent out and they sell tractors and lawn equipment, basically anything that moves dirt and grass. They do it, and we're going to be out here with a crew of those guys. We're going to be working all day long to fix this problem once and for all. Reporting live in Acres Homes, Bill Spencer, KPRC 2 News.
Andy, Mayor Sylvester Turner's former press secretary, Darian Ward, was indicted this morning by a Harris County grand jury for failing to fulfill a Texas Public Information Act request. Last December, she was suspended for 10 days without pay by Mayor Turner for misrepresenting the number of emails that she should have turned over as part of a Texas Public Information Act request. The mayor determined she also violated multiple city policies. Channel 2 Investigates detailed several of the approximately 2,000 emails Ward failed to turn over. Those emails showed Ward attempting to use her position in City Hall to land reality television production deals for her private production company. The indictment comes 6 months after District Attorney Kim Ogg's office told Channel 2 Investigates her office would look into the violations for possible criminal charges. In today's indictment, the grand jury determined as an officer of public information for the city of Houston, Ward failed and refused to give access to and permit and provide copying of public information. After the scandal broke, the mayor defended Ward, telling us she did her job extremely well. We have reached out to the mayor for comment. He is currently traveling in South America on a trade mission. You can read the indictment right now on the front page of click2houston.com. Coincidentally, this criminal charge comes only 2 days after Channel 2 Investigates revealed another member of Mayor Turner's inner circle, Chief Development Officer Andy Icken, failing to turn over his private emails that dealt with city business. We are working to get reaction to today's indictment of Darian Ward. We'll have updates throughout the day. Live in the newsroom, Mario Diaz, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Great Day Houston, our hurricane preparedness show. Even if you had insurance, many people flooded by Harvey were upside down financially, meaning insurance money did not pay all the bills. You mentioned earlier how you had flooded with Tropical Storm Allison.
No insurance, it can be devastating.
Yeah, all right. If there was no insurance money, many people were starting over again. How does $20,000 to $80,000 sound, and how can you get it? Tom McCaslin is the Director of Housing and Community Development for the City of Houston. Please welcome him to Great Day. Good morning. All right. So a lot of people really did. They either had to leave their homes and sell them for as is, or they're behind the 8 ball right now because they had to make those repairs. The good news is there is money out there.
That's right. Money for both repair that you haven't done as well as reimbursement from repairs you've already done. And it's available. We're taking applications right now from both sides, and some of our families have already moved through that process.
Yeah, in fact, we have Ruth on the line this morning. Good morning, Ruth.
Good morning, Deborah. How you doing?
Good. Okay, so you were trying to come in this morning, but because of the weather, you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us by phone. So tell us what you dealt with after Harvey.
A lot of tragedy. I dealt with stripping out my home from gutted completely. So I had to gut everything. I lost a lot of personal things, furniture, just a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then with the city program, it helped rebuild my whole home completely.
Yeah. So you got some substantial money, right?
Yes, I did. Altogether, I got over $153,000.
Wow.
Which I couldn't have gotten back into my home without the city help.
Yeah, and it sounds like that is a lot of money, but when you're talking about starting from like the studs, basically, right? So
yes. Basically the money in the walls.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the process, Ruth, and how did you find out about this? Because I think people think right now after they've gotten through it, they're like, well, I've already gotten through it. It sounds too good to be true, but it is true, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is true. Well, first it was city had more than one program, but with this last homeowners assistance program, you have to fill out a survey. Once you fill out the survey, then a case manager will call you to fill out your application. Once you fill out your application, then your paperwork will get approved through the state, through the city, and then your inspector will come out to your home, and any work that's repair that's left to be done, the city will do it. Any money that you spend over the funds that you receive from FEMA, they will reimburse you that for your own use. You can do what you want to do with that.
All right. Well, Ruth, now that your home is all put back together, I don't blame you for staying home today, sleeping in. All right. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. And so the other thing that people were asking, I had a friend who says, "Oh no, we can't be approved because we make too much money, even though we lost a lot of money. It's not based on your income."
That is correct. Anyone can apply. Does not matter about income. If you're higher income, we'll reimburse you the $20,000 you mentioned, out of the $80,000, so 25% of what you spend out of pocket. Middle income, we'll reimburse you 50%. And then for Ruth, we were able to reimburse her and folks at her income level 100% of what they spent out of pocket. So for her, that was nearly a $30,000 check.
Yeah.
After someone goes through something like that, let me just tell you, it is so devastating. Do you
feel so violated. The river, the water, the street has come into your home.
And not only are you homeless, but if that's your most important investment, it's gone.
Yeah, and not only that, but then you can't get any rest. You come home to this home that is destroyed, so what you're doing makes a huge difference in people's lives.
And one thing we want to tell people is we know this has been a long process. They had to deal with FEMA, rejections, all the process. They had to deal with their insurance company. This is the money that we have is the gap money for what you paid out of pocket. And so we're trying to come in and help people get as close to whole as possible.
This is part of that $1 billion for Houstonians recovery that Mayor Turner and the crew had fought for. The other thing I want to point out is that I know after Harvey, we were down to George R. Brown, where all the departments were, FEMA, the housing department, the housing authority. Yeah, the whole bit. And I saw a lot of people going, okay, we were flooded out. Let's go to the housing department to get a place to live. That's not how it works. So people have to have a backup plan of where they're going to go.
That is right, and that's why you saw so many people living with friends, family, neighbors right after the storm. And the housing department is really the funder. The housing authority is the organization that provides your Section 8 vouchers, your public housing. And
But you have to already be in that program to just,
Of course, after Harvey, their wait list grew to 100,000 households. And that's just an indication that in this country, we don't provide enough affordable homes for the people in Houston.
All right, so there are 4 options for this program: the rehabilitation, the reconstruction of your home, the reimbursement for repairs already made, and the combination of repairs and reimbursement. And in some cases, getting reimbursement from if you had to move out of your home and pay rent someplace else, right? So you can get reimbursed for that, and it's not too late to do that.
That's right. And Ruth is a great example of someone who had already done repairs, but still had repairs left. We reimbursed her for what she had already done, and then came out and finished the rest of the process.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in today. And to see if you're eligible or for more information, call this number right here, 832-393-0550, 832-393-0550, or log on to recovery.houstontx.gov.
All right, we are here at the George R. Brown. My name is Tom McCasland. Last name is spelled McCasland. I report directly to the mayor, and I am the point person for the city here at the George R. Brown.
What can you tell us about, we're at capacity, we're double capacity, what are we doing?
None of us do this for a living, but we are at 9,000 people, just over 9,000 people. That has held steady for the last approximately 3 hours. And I expect that as daylight comes up, we will see additional rescues. But right now we are at 9,000 people. We have 5,000 of those, just under 5,000 in cots. The rest of them have been sleeping on the floors or on chairs this evening.
Are you going to open another citywide shelter?
We are working on that. I want to be clear. I'm responsible for the George R. Brown, but we are working with senior staff at the city as well as other regional government officials and our state and federal partners. This is a collaborative effort to get additional shelters opened as needed. I think we all know that we need additional shelters, and we'll have more information as the sun comes up and we understand how many more people are going to need a shelter in space.
Are we looking at the Toyota Center NRG or those possibilities?
I will let the command center answer those questions. I know that we are looking at all available space that we have, and the mayor is working hard on that. But I'm responsible for George R. Brown, and will keep my answers limited to what's happening here, which is what I know about.
Thomas, can you just be clear with us? People are going to hear 9,000 people and 5,000 cots, and they're going to think it's chaos, but it's not, right? Things are under control here?
Things are under control. We've had a very quiet night with 9,000 people. You're going to have a couple of minor incidents, but they have all been minor this evening. People are sleeping well. Even the people who are out on cardboard and blankets, they're sleeping well. We're currently providing people breakfast. It's a very slow flow in. As people wake up, we're going to have more of a meal around here. It's going to be a little bit more chaotic than what it's been the last couple of hours.